Hey everyone, this is Hurricane Hal. I've relocated inside a major hotel for safety. We're really taking some major winds here in Houma, Louisiana. The eyewall is arriving. I'm gonna turn the camera so you can see what it looks like. We actually had two eyewalls. I was in the first one in my vehicle near a canal monitoring the saltwater levels, and it was just getting pretty dangerous. So I relocated between the eyewalls. I was able to safely move over to this hotel. This is going to be really interesting in the next 15 minutes or so in Terrebonne Parish. The eye is maybe, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes away, but the winds are really picking up here. Reports coming in of a lot of damage around here. But I'm definitely in a secure place. I really appreciate a lot of people who are reaching out and concerned about my safety. I'm in here with other folks, and we're all going to be safe. This is a pretty safe location. This is the eyewall. It's approaching us from the southeast, so our winds are coming from the northeast. I think they were sustained around Category 2 in the first eyewall, the outer eyewall, but this inner one, we're expecting winds could really be Cat 4 possibly. At the latest advisory, 1 p.m., maximum sustained winds were still 150 miles an hour. We expect it might have weakened a little bit, but we're going to be taking a big hit here in Houma. Lockport, Raceland, all these other places. I'm concerned about people I heard riding this out in Golden Meadow, a place that's a little closer to the coast than we are and very surge prone. And I can't even imagine riding this out in a place like Grand Isle or Golden Meadow. You can hear the wind whistling even though we're in a secure hotel. Air pressure's been falling pretty rapidly. We're down to 970 millibars. I'm monitoring that. And I think some people were asking about water levels. I have some friends that have helped me with LiDAR. I think I was at about 10.5 feet on the bank of a canal, and the water level was about 3 feet below me. So about a half an hour ago, I think the water level in Houma was about 7.5 feet. That's in the same system that we have our elevation certificate. So our best guess is if your house was higher than 7.5 feet as of a half an hour ago, it did not start flooding yet. It's really picking up though. Let you see out of the different windows. We already have a tree snap there. Relocating was a little bit of an adventure. I had to try some different doors on the outside of the hotel. The first two were locked. It was running around in the wind. Fortunately, someone had asked about being near a window. The winds are blowing really hard from left to right, so that's a good point. You would not want to be near a window where you're taking pressure on the glass. But I'm always thinking about this. You always have to be thinking as a field scientist or a storm chaser, always what direction the wind's coming. When I was parked outside, I was always trying to keep a lot of debris far from me and trying to keep field or open space upwind. The reason I changed my location, the wind angle was changing a little bit, and there was a fence about, 70, 80 yards out, and I just don't know how well that's constructed, and if it's going to pull up in Category 4 winds, the last thing I want is a fence post, coming through my windshield. So it just seemed like for Cat 4 winds, the car's just not safe enough. This hotel, I'm feeling really good. But again, the winds are blowing here from left to right. I'm in no danger here. There's no real pressure on the glass. You can see the flag motion there. These winds are just howling from left to right, basically coming down from the northeast. And in about 20 minutes, I think we'll be in the eye of Hurricane Ida. So what happens if you get a direct strike like we're going to have here in Houma? The winds will be blowing in the eye wall at tremendous velocity, and then you'll have relative calm in the eye. And then on the backside of the eye wall, the winds will blow from the other direction because the eye is going to go directly over us. Right now the winds are blowing from left to right. After the eye passage, they'll blow from right to left. Hey, Kathy, thank you. This is good. I'm actually able to read these messages. Kathy just asked what I think the wind speed is. That's a good question. Right now, it's at least sustained Cat 2. Right there, I think that's probably sustained, and the upper 90s to, I don't know, low 100s. I think we're looking at strong Cat 2 winds right now, with gusts maybe to Cat 4. But again, I think we're going to get up sustained a little higher than that. But we've been hearing reports from locals here talking about roofs off of houses. I mean, I was watching some houses and they were taking Cat 2 winds pretty well. But I didn't want to stick around to see how they do in the Cat 4 winds. It's just, I think, too risky to be in a vehicle. Hey, what is the barometric pressure? Julie asked. Hey, okay, thanks for interacting, everybody. I'll try to read the messages more. Julie just asked what the barometric pressure is, and there it is. It's 969 millibars. We can convert those to inches. I usually use millibars. So when it made landfall, I think the landfall pressure was around 930. We're here at 969, but it's going down quickly. And actually, if you watch a barometer, we're going to do that right now, do a little science together. See how it's going up, it goes down. But in general, it's falling, and it'll keep falling as the eye approaches. And in a couple minutes, it'll probably be like 966. So it goes up, it goes down. There's some fluctuations, but in general, it's falling. And in the eye of the hurricane is really where we have the lowest pressures. This was around 930 at landfall. That's a pretty impressive, pretty intense hurricane. But right here in Houma, we're sitting around 969 or 970. Hey, all, I can see the questions that people have. So if you have any other questions, I'll try to reply. Yeah, you can just see how it's blowing here. Really picking up. I'm in Houma, Louisiana. We're down in Terrebonne Parish, southwest of New Orleans, south of Baton Rouge, and things are really getting cooking over here. We're expecting the strongest winds to hit here, I'd say in the next half hour, and then we're going to have an eye passage. New Orleans, I think later this afternoon and this evening, you'll have your strongest winds. And then Baton Rouge, unfortunately, will be after dark for y'all up there. We're expecting Cat 1 winds up in Baton Rouge. And keep in mind, a lot of people refer to hurricanes based on the landfall intensity. So a lot of people will say Hurricane Gustav in 2008 was a Category 2. It was on the coast, but it was not up in Baton Rouge. In Baton Rouge, it was not even sustained hurricane force winds. We might get sustained hurricane force up in Baton Rouge with Ida. So these could be some of the strongest winds we've ever seen in some of these communities, even going as far inland as the I-10 corridor. You can hear other folks here. I'm in a secure location in a large hotel in Houma, Louisiana. I relocated. A lot of times I'm in my vehicle, but this was just getting dicey, and it's just really hard to know what kind of debris is going to come at you. Even in the daylight, I was trying to point into the wind and keep some space upwind, but I ended up relocating. Yeah, thanks for the reminder to keep my cell phone charged. You know what I did? Last week, before I went to Mexico, I bought one of these battery packs. I have a battery pack in my backpack right now, and it's fully charged. It'll charge my cell phone 7 times. So if, power obviously is out here. And so that's a big part, not only if you're chasing storms, but also for homeowners. We have to always think about extended power outages. We might be out of power in this part of the country for 2 weeks or more after a big strike like this. So how are you going to power your phone? And another thing to think about is, what if you lose your phone or have water damage or it loses power? How are you going to contact people on your phone list? Remember, back in the 80s and 90s, we had all these numbers in our head, but now we have more and more of those numbers on our cell phone. It's always good to write these things down on paper if you can. Again, I'm in Houma, Louisiana. We're taking some big hit here. I think the eyewall is going to be moving in here in the next 15 to 20 minutes, and then the eye. If anyone has any other questions, I'm in a pretty secure location. I can actually read any questions you have. Hurricane Ida made landfall as an upper Category 4 hurricane. I'll post a link to the battery charger. I don't know if I can do that at the moment. It's made by a company called ONN, and it was $32 at Walmart. And they had a charger that will charge your phone 7 times, which is a pretty good deal. It's by I think ONN, and it's at Walmart for like $32. Hey everybody, I always want to make sure the content I'm sharing here is interesting, educational, what you're looking for. If you have any questions or any suggestions, we can always change it up. You can see how those flags are blowing. Trying to zoom in. Yeah, the question is, what is the wind speed where we're at right now? You know, I think it's sustained at least upper category 2, and maybe getting around category 3 right now. So I would say it's sustained maybe around 100. So that would be a, you know, solid to strong category 2. But we're expecting winds as high as category 4 in the next 20, 30 minutes. Oh, Julie had a good question. There's loud sounds behind me. Is that thunder or things banging around? Those are things banging around. We can also hear water trickling. There may be a roof leak or something. I can hear running water in the background as too. It sounds like a waterfall. I'll let you see the interior of the Marriott Hotel. There's some other folks here that are traveling or doing like lineman work. I think a lot of the storm chasers are out and about. Met a few storm chasers this trip as well. You can see there's already some debris over here. Not debris, there's some tree damage. Oh, hey, someone's watching from New Zealand. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love when people tune in from all over the world. Yeah, we're really concerned about New Orleans. I know a lot of folks love that historic, amazing city, and we're really concerned about New Orleans. Let's talk a little bit about New Orleans, and then I'll wrap up the broadcast. So New Orleans, we're expecting hurricane force winds are probable, and you know that's going to be a problem. Obviously, extensive power outages, tree falls, and structural damage to buildings as well. New Orleans is northeast of me, about, I don't know, maybe 65 miles or so. We're seeing stronger winds here than they're going to get in New Orleans, but nonetheless, expecting some big wind impacts over to New Orleans, up to Baton Rouge, and storm surge on the coast was pushing in as well, even east of the Mississippi River. Then Hurricane Ida. We're starting to take some of these eyewall winds, I think. I think the strongest winds will be in the next 20 minutes or so, and then we should eventually get to the eye, where we'll have a period of relative calm. Everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. I know a lot of people were sharing heartfelt sympathy and concern for the people here in South Louisiana. It's always great to keep these people in your thoughts, pray for these people, and look for ways to help them. There are a lot of ways in the coming weeks and months that we can help out these folks to rebuild and get their lives back in order. I may do one more video if the winds really pick up. You know, you can see there, I think sustained upper Cat 2, so maybe sustained 105, something like that. Hard to say exactly. Yeah, they're really picking up now though. Everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks, John, for watching from Central Texas there. Yeah, this is a big storm. You know, all hurricanes are a problem, but once you get up to category 3, 4, and 5, it's just so much more wind damage. We could see a lot of damage when I was driving around. Last question before I sign off. How do y'all think about the frequency of these videos? Have they been interesting? I'd like to keep it updated as things are changing, but don't want to overwhelm the CNC social media channel. So thanks, Paula. I'm trying to stay safe. I'm in a really secure location here. You can hear there is a bit of a howl to the wind that you can hear. There, it's really pushing. Hey, Tammy, thanks for watching from Friendswood. It's hard to believe it was just 4 years ago this week that Friendswood, League City, our friends up there in the I-45 corridor were really taking the rain from Hurricane Harvey. Hey, thanks for the comments, everyone. Sammy, thanks for watching from Orlando. Yeah, if you guys like watching this, oh, there's someone from France. C'est bien ça. Bonjour, ça va? Like speaking French when I can. Yeah, it's great to know that the videos are interesting. Will I film as the eyewall goes over? I think I will. I mean, it looks like the winds are picking up. I don't think we're quite in the eyewall, but there seems to be a lot of interest in that. So winds really are picking up here. It's getting pretty intense. But yeah, I'll film the eye wall, and I'm also probably going to film in the eye. I don't know if I'll continue having cell phone reception, but it'll be really interesting to see this. This eye is going to pass right over us. I don't know if there'll be sunshine in it, but surely there'll be calm winds in the eye. Hey, Patricia, thanks for watching from Galveston. Yeah, it's really cool to see how people from different parts of the Gulf Coast especially, and all over the world, share concern with the folks here in Louisiana. Got 97 people watching live right now. Yeah, Sammy, a good website to follow, CNC Catastrophe and National Claims. Also, you can follow our website called GeoTrek. It's GeoTrek.com, geotrek.com. It's stories about extreme weather and the impacts. Hey, Florence. Bonjour, ça va de France? Merci beaucoup. GeoTrek really gets in these deeper stories about the impacts of severe weather and disaster science, but also some things communities can do to make better decisions and to mitigate their risk. That's an exciting web platform that just launched in the last couple weeks. You can go to that right now, GeoTrek, GEO-TREK.com. And we have podcasts on there, blog posts on there. We're going to have a lot of our on-the-ground field work here in Hurricane Ida as well. Well, hey, everyone. I think I'm going to maybe end the broadcast briefly. The winds are picking up a little bit, but I don't know exactly when the eyewall will get here. I think I'm going to end the broadcast briefly, look at the radar. Oh, here we go. And that's the strongest winds we've had so far. That has to be sustained Cat 3. That's getting pretty intense. Yeah, there's geotrek.com. It sounds like y'all lost me. Is my feedback? Yeah, thanks, Sammy. We have a bunch of podcasts. Check out the podcast that we most recently recorded with Jennifer Tisthammer. She's an expert in disaster science and all these historic preservation and archaeology and things like that. Hey, Julie, thank you. We just did a podcast that posted last week about dealing with hazards in South Florida. It gets into a lot of hurricane hazards as well. Boy, the winds are really picking up. I might just keep the broadcast going, honestly. I mean, this looks like we're getting into the eyewall now, and I'm probably not going to do another broadcast. This is really coming in. Merci, Florence. Moi, je parle français aussi un petit peu. Ça c'est ma deuxième langue. I was just saying French is my second language, so I always like talking with people in French. In South Louisiana, we get quite a bit of it, of course. If you've ever been to Nouvelle-Orléans, New Orleans, il y a beaucoup de gens là qui parlent français. There's a lot of people in New Orleans that speak French, so it's a great place to be. But we have to deal with hurricanes. It's part of our life here in South Louisiana. You can hear other folks behind me. That's a good thing. I'm in a secure location. We have camera crews. We have storm chasers. We have electricity linemen. We have all kinds of folks here. And I'm just kind of camping out at this one window. I'm being a little bit lazy. I should probably go around and give you some different views. But after driving around in storm conditions for a while, I'm getting a little lazy here. Yeah, you can hear the doors banging. Yeah, you can see it's really blowing in here. Fortunately, we're really above the surge. The surge did not appear to be pushing in that quickly, and that might be partly because we're a bit inland. There's a lot of marshes and things like that. I was sitting by a canal for about 25 minutes, and it did not appear to be coming up that rapidly, where I was at least. What is the building across where you can see? That's a good question. There are several large buildings here. I'm in Houma, Louisiana. I'm at the Courtyard Marriott, and we're in fairly high ground. It's 8.5 feet, which for this part of the country is fairly high. I don't know exactly what that building is. Yeah, take a picture of the American flag. Thank you. I really should. It's really tattered. Some of the damage I've seen damage, obviously, to flags. A gas station was really getting shredded. The only storm damage I had between eye walls, I relocated, and some of the siding that was torn off of the gas station, I had a contact with that when I was driving, but everything was fine. There is debris, though, definitely blowing around. A lot of trees down, as you can imagine, and local reports of roofs off houses, things like that. I saw some video of, Grand Isle down by Golden Meadow. It seems like the storm surge there was pretty intense. Giving you a window to the world here in Houma, Louisiana. We're in Terrebonne Parish in southeast Louisiana, taking really the brunt now. This appears to be really the eye wall pushing in of Hurricane Ida. The eye isn't far off, but first we have to deal with these strongest winds. This is the strongest winds we've seen. These have to be sustained Cat 3. Someone asked about being so close to a window. You know, if you're ever filming this kind of stuff, if you can get the wind blowing left to right and not putting pressure on your window, you can really see the motion of the wind, but also you're not, I think there's very little pressure on this glass here. You can hear the wind probably howling a little bit. I'll let you see the trees kind of blowing around. Pretty intense winds. We're in Houma, Louisiana. I think that we have Cat 3 winds here right now. Yeah, it's really blowing. This is pretty much the eye wall. Oh, Jennifer from Miami, we were just talking about the podcast I did with her. She just sent a picture. So she said we're not quite in the eye wall, but it's coming soon. Yeah, this has to be sustained Cat 3 winds here, I think, or upper level Cat 2. I'm in Houma, Louisiana, in Terrebonne Parish. You know what? Before I sign off, I'm just going to change the location here. Let's walk through the hotel and we'll see what else is going on. Sounds like a bit of a waterfall here. A lot of water leaking from wind damage already. It's inside the hotel. So this is a very strong fortified building, and there's water leaking like this. Imagine in somebody's smaller house, especially if it's not constructed well, what's going on right now. I mean, roofs are being torn off, the trees are flying all over the place. This is a very serious storm. I was trying to be very careful with the storm chase. This is what the window looks like outside. We got some different people around here. I'm in a large hotel in Houma, Louisiana. You can hear really the storm better out here. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Hey, y'all, I'm going to sign off. Everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. And I'll catch you again. I'll do another video if anything changes or if we get into the eye, which should come before long. Everyone, thanks so much for the encouragement. Great to interact with you. Again, this is Hurricane Hal signing off from a hotel in